Welcome to Keeping It Real with KC. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and today's episode is kind of interesting. Talking about friendships, and for me, I had to talk about myself, which this has been a no notes day. I haven't had notes on any of the episodes I've done today. Usually I have notes ready, but I've been just winging it today, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, this particular episode, the reason why I don't have many friends. For those who don't know me personally, you've only seen me doing my shows, or you only listen to the show via podcast. You you don't fully know me personally. And I try to let people who watch the show and who listen to this show know as much as I can tell them. Obviously, I can't tell people every single little thing. Um, but the things I can tell them, I I do my best to be as transparent as possible and let people take from the information I give them and go from there. When it comes to friendships, I don't have many. I literally can count my friends on one hand, and I will not use all of my fingers. With friendships, for me, they're really tricky. And I don't ask for much when it comes to friendships. However, what I do ask for is pretty much close to priceless. And that's why I don't have many friends, because people are unable to pay the price. When new people approach me in person, which naturally I'm an introvert, I can be an extrovert depending on the situation, but for the most part, I'm an introvert. I'm to myself. I'm a very moody person. If you want to know how I am, look up the astrological sign Cancer. I am a true Cancer. My rising sign is Aries, which is where my fiery, fiery side comes from. But I am a true astrological Cancer. I'm to myself, I'm moody as hell, and I'm very loyal to a fault. In, at one point trying to save everybody. I don't do that so much anymore either. But when it comes to dealing with people when they approach me, I always take a step back mentally, especially if they have a lot of energy when they approach me. Because over the years, so many things have happened to me throughout my lifetime that I have to examine a situation, and I have to put up barriers, because naturally I'm a very giving person. That's just who I am. That's not going to change. However, throughout the years, people have tried to take my kindness for weakness. And as time went on, I just decided to shut most of it down. So when someone approaches me, especially if they're really, really hyper, mentally I take a step back. And the first thing that goes through my head is, okay, what does this person want from me? And some people might say that's a horrible way to look at the world, but that's kind of how I've been shaped and crafted after certain experiences that I have to, especially here in Los Angeles. Is and not saying that everybody in Los Angeles is like this, that's not the case. I will say in this particular city, and I'm sure in other cities too, but it's I've noticed it's really like that here because I've lived in other cities. I've lived in Miami Beach. I've lived in Augusta, Georgia. I've lived in Columbia, South Carolina. I've lived in Durham, North Carolina. I've lived in several different places. And I've noticed here, it's more of what can you do for me is the mentality that a lot of people have here versus, well, that person seems cool. Let me approach them. They seem like they're a good person. Because when I approach someone, I have never, ever in my life approached someone thinking, well, what can this person do for me? Or approach them because they have something I'm like, oh, that can help me out. And no, I don't approach people like that. That's not my style. If I approach someone to befriend them, it's out of a genuine curiosity, is what it is out of. It's not out of any type of calculated move to acquire something they have or to boost my status in life. I don't believe in that. That's not who I am. So when people approach me, I naturally, mentally step back. And it's very difficult for people to get close to me. And some people, over time, they do get close. And they become a friend because I have plenty of associates. I have plenty of associates, people that I know of, that know me, I know them, and things like that. But as for actual friends, I don't have many friends at all. I have one in Brooklyn. I have another one here in California. I have another one in Georgia. So, and they're people, the one in Brooklyn and then the one here in California, I've known them since the late 90s. Because we didn't go to high school together, but we all graduated around the same time in 97. So we grew up knowing some of the same people, and we've just been close. But the one in Brooklyn, her and I are really close because she is very honest. That's another thing that I look for in friendships, which is also something that is pretty much priceless. Those are the only two things I ask for, is loyalty and honesty. That's all I want in a friendship. I don't need your money. I don't need anything else. I mean, if you want to give me money, that's fine. I mean, I'm not a fool. I'll take it. But I don't need anything else from anybody. I don't need you to call to get me a job at such and such place, which is why I befriended you in the first place, because I noticed that you were friends with this casting director, or you were friends with this person in this marketing department, and I approached you for that reason. I don't need that. My talents and my resume speak for itself. So I don't have to go into a situation like that. All I ask for is honesty and loyalty in a friendship. And if I see that a person is unable to give those two things to me, usually I cut them by the wayside. I'm just like, okay, well, they'll be an associate, but I'm not going to classify them really as a friend. And you would be surprised how hard it is for people to be loyal and honest with each other. How under certain circumstances, loyalty goes out the door. They'll throw whoever on the fire to accomplish their goal and forget all of the other stuff during the quote unquote friendship. They will be dishonest about situations where honesty could have easily resolved everything. And I believe that's why the friends I have, our friendships have stood the test of time, because I know they're loyal and I know they're honest with me. If I ask them a question, they're going to give me an answer, and they know the same with me. I always tell people, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't ask me the question. I'll be polite when I answer certain things, but usually it's just, it comes out the way it is. And I said what I said. You can deal with it or not. That's not my problem. And I always tell them, if you don't want the truth, don't ask me the question. Those two simple things are, like I mentioned, close to priceless and difficult to find in friendships. They're difficult. You'll have people who say one thing in front of you, but then when you turn your back, they say another thing. There isn't any consistency in their delivery. I always tell all the people who know me, if I say it while you're not present, I can say it while you're present. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter. And I feel that's how it should be. But people aren't honest like that for whatever reason, because they're afraid they may lose a friendship, or they're afraid they may lose a connection. And by connection, I mean some type of advantage. And when it comes to loyalty, I think people should remember those who were there when others weren't. Because loyalty is a big thing for me too. There was someone years ago who I considered myself somewhat close with. It was a coworker. And me, like I said, I'm loyal to a fault. That's just who I am. I'm very loyal. And most people in the company did not like this person. Most people in the company did not like this person at all. However, if I was around and that person wasn't present, if anyone said anything negative about that person, I would come to that person's defense, because that person wasn't there to defend themselves. Because I was loyal. I considered that person a friend, and it's like, hey, these are some of the good qualities. I understand what you're saying about this, but also this person has these qualities that are really, really good. And anything that I said with that person, I told that person too, where the honesty came in. Because one time that person accused me of not reading their emails, and I said, look, because they said, I feel like you're not reading my emails on purpose. Like you have an issue with me. And I said, look, if I were to have an issue with you, I wouldn't leave any room for doubt. You'll know if I have an issue with you. Because I'm just honest like that. So, but when a situation went down and that person's neck was on the line, they decided to put my neck out instead. And it is what it is. It's life. Not everybody is loyal. Not everyone is honest. And because of that, I just don't let people in easily. Anything worth having, you can't get it easily anyway. And I feel that a friendship with me is worth something. Now, I'm fine if I never have another friend again, because the friends that I have are the friends that I have, and I'm happy with that. If I get friends in the future, great. But the same rules still apply. I look to associate myself with people who are loyal and people who are honest. That's all I care about. But most people aren't like that. So I'm naturally and mentally on defense when I deal with people. People accuse me of being cold, and I'm fine with that. My mother taught me at a young age, don't worry about what people say about you. So I don't worry about if people like me or not. That's never been my thing. At least after she had that conversation with me. Before then I was worried, but after she had that conversation, I just threw all that out the window. So yeah, that's why I don't have many friends. And if you ever meet me in person, just know that mentally, I'm going to be on defense. I'll be polite. I'll always be polite. I won't be fake. And there's a difference between being polite and being fake, which that's a totally different episode within itself. So I'll be polite. I won't be fake with you. But just know, if you ever meet me in person, mentally, I'm already on defense with gates, walls, and all types of other stuff up before I let you in to my garden of friendship. And I can't say, don't take it personal, because I hate when people say that. Because if you're a person, the only way you can take it is personal. What I can say is that it's worth it. My friendship is worth it. Because I value myself. And you don't have to ever worry about me trying to use you to get ahead in life or to acquire what you have. Because that isn't what I look for in a friend. I look for good people, loyal people, honest people. That's what I look for. I don't care about all that other stuff. So anyways, that's all I got for this episode. This one took a little bit longer than I expected it to. I thought I could do this one in 10 minutes like I did the other one. This one's almost 20 minutes. Damn. Okay. So, like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell so you will know when I upload other episodes of Keeping It Real with KC. For the podcast itself, there are exclusives that will be coming that are exclusive to the podcast only, meaning they will not be on YouTube or Daily Motion. It will be exclusive to the podcast for listening. You can go to KIRWKC.com. That will take you to the Keeping It Real with KC Anchor Podcast website. Again, KIRWKC.com. Thank you again for watching, those who watched, and thank you again to those who have been listening, who have been a constant stay listening. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, and I can never say it enough, that I appreciate you taking the time out of your life to listen to this show. I appreciate you so very much. So, KIRWKC.com. Be blessed.